Entertainment Network.
Iron Reese. The talk is still real. We still on the corner. We gonna touch on some topics.
SKN, we got topics. Let's have a discussion. The people got questions. The people want answers. Yeah, we got topics. Let's have a discussion. The people got questions. The people want answers. Yeah, it's real talking. It's real talk. It's real talking. It's real talk. It's real talking. Real talk. It's real talking. Real talking.
Iron Reese. The talk is still real. We still on the corner. We gonna touch on some topics.
It's real talking. It's real talk. It's real talking. It's real talk. It's real talking. Real talk. It's real talking. Real talking.
Check it out. You know, in tune.
All right, we start it off.
Yeah, man. Blessings. We back. Another week doing this real talk carnage in the area. Hey, Ra.
Right.
12 in a black shirt, but I'm not going to 12 in a kind of see color now.
Yeah. We don't do
Any
that.
vibes now? Any vibes?
Vibes cool, man. Just simmer.
Mhm.
Just a simmer like
Nice.
a pot.
Nice.
What about you?
I can't complain, you know me. You know what I mean? Living legend, global superstar,
All of that.
you know. So, people like me to live an amazing life, you know. One of these days, I'm going to come up with the follow me around, you know, but until I get the money, yeah, I just got to take my word for it.
You could hire me, you know. I'll do it for you.
Yeah, but yeah,
Yeah.
you know. But you know, I had a good week this week because after all my years and the long cussing and the nights I done stop and all the trade me phone against one and thing. But the West Indies finally winning Australia, man. Yeah, the West Indies winning Australia, man. You know what I mean? West Indies are caused me a lot of heartbreak. My blood pressure and so that went high until me because of West Indies. West Indies don't disappoint me a lot, but
Yeah.
they come to this week, man. What? I mean, era?
Yeah, the country with
Yeah,
style,
what I
man.
mean, man, era, even I think we're going to lose at the start, but I watch the game to watch we lose by the field, man. But this time, the man say, yo, we got to do this for real, you know? So all I who
Did-
think I was West Indies when they did it for real. They didn't do
They
it
did it
for
for you.
What you mean? West Indies did that for me. But yeah, understand it, it's 27 years West Indies hasn't won in Australia. You know?
How old you?
West
How
Indies
old?
in
27
years West Indies.
years, bro. Mm.
But listen, Lara was still star batsman last year West Indies when you
27 years.
27 years, that's 2 decades.
I was 8 years old, eh?
Jesus. You know what I mean? So when I see things like this, man, I had to celebrate. I long time I feel proud to be a West Indies fan, but I feel so
Bro,
proud.
them
I
mats there.
mean,
Them some serious mats. Yeah, big up to the West
know what I
Indies
mean?
and capturing
Yeah,
that
man.
thing,
And
you know.
I also got to big up the youngster Joseph Shamar Joseph who bowled a hell of a spell, 7 wickets. You know what I mean? The young man, and if you ever got a chance to check out his stories actually interesting stories. If what is written on Wikipedia is actually true,
What I
it's a
say?
hell of a story. You know his beginnings. You know he was one point was a security guard and he did a couple of different odd jobs, but never gave up on his dreams of cricket. You know, from very 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 humble beginnings. You know to make it to where he is at now, and you know it was just a good thing to see. You know. One of the other things as well, aside make a statement, and I wanted to say that is the most retarded statement I've ever heard in my life. He was speaking with his heart, so. And when you speak with your heart, you really catch me. Many people talk with their head,
You're something
you know.
else.
as much as I support the West Indies, they people talk with their head. You know, the statement he made is that no matter what happens and what tournaments are available in the world, he's always available for the West Indies.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, um, he talking with the heart
Mm-hmm.
because, as we all know, the sporting careers aren't long. They don't run a long period of time. And you're at the discretion of the team. They pick you and drop you.
Yeah.
So you got to make the most of it for the time that you have. So if
Correct.
I got a chance, they were saying that I was still in cricket to make 250,000 a year. And you got to in IPL and you can make 2 million in 2 months. Um
Easy.
you're still, even if it's 2 million EC, it's still more than 250 US for the year. So he was speaking with his heart. But he's going to understand that when his family and everything has needs and he realizes his career is coming down to the end and this cricket thing is not forever, he can understand that they're going to make some money.
Yeah, man. Congrats to the young man and fulfilling his dream and actually showing up in a big
Definitely.
way too. Um, for some reason, again this week. Okay, there they are. There the comments are. I thought they weren't gonna come in tonight. Good night to everybody who has said good night to us. Marlene, your comment is the first one that has shown on the screen, so I'm just gonna shout you out one time. Big up yourself, Marlene Pemberton. But yeah, back to what you're saying. Important point. You know, West Indies don't have the kind of conviction to this young man that he seemed to have for the West Indies, because if he stop performing tomorrow, they're gonna drop him,
They're
and
going to drop him.
ain't like they're gonna support him for the rest of his life. So, um, patriotic, you might want to call it. I don't know. I don't know what they want to call it, but I don't think it's wise. Um, if anything, make West Indies pay you more money. You see what I'm saying? And that's what I gotta say. But congratulations to the West Indies on accomplishing that, and big spell from this man too. Big spell. I hope it's not a
Oh
fluke.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. That was, and I don't know. A lot of people see the numbers, but a lot of people didn't really watch it. Men that have actually had the opportunity to see him bowl, but the youngster really got good bowling motion. His
I see the
balls,
highlight. Mm-hmm.
his balls swing. I understand some of the wickets he got, where he got them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it was real good to see. I was seeing his ball actually do that. It's been some
Well,
time since I could recall a bowler putting on numbers like those outside of the for the West Indies, especially outside of the Courtney Walshes and the Kirtley Ambrose and stuff of that nature.
true.
Those numbers are hard to see, and if you could get some level of consistency from him, the West Indies may be headed in the right direction.
Yeah, they're gonna be good. But you remember, just like viruses and stuff, where the body is unfamiliar with, the first encounter is is usually very damaging. You best believe not only Australia, but a lot of the other teams right now looking at those tapes, looking at his motion, looking at the balls, and they're gonna try to create conditions to combat his style. It's just the way of life is. So he might still get the wickets, but they're gonna try their best to minimize the amount of wickets he get in the next game he play. And
As they should, as
he
they should.
he in himself has to continue to progress if he wants to be an icon. Now, speaking of icon, you don't know the big talk. You know what I'm saying? The
All right,
biggest, the biggest talk
the
out right now.
the big
Royal
one,
Caribbean. Yeah, man.
the
The
big one, the
biggest
big
talk.
one. Yes, yes, yes,
Royal
yes.
Caribbean. Aye.
Royal Caribbean would have made it's on his maiden voyage, right? So, and first stop, first protocol was Saint Kitts. First protocol was Saint Kitts, and that's a big deal. That's a
That's a
big
big
deal.
deal.
You know what I
Top
mean? It's a big
side.
deal. Definitely. We could actually be proud of that. The first
Whoop, whoop, whoop,
first
whoop, whoop,
protocol Saint Kitts was a big deal. And I
whoop,
mean,
whoop.
big ship, big deal. And I don't know if y'all see it here. Y'all see the romance song was turned into a jingle.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, Vasquez did a jingle for the icon of the season arrival as well.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
yeah. A play
Well,
on the
that
romance song went in to
that
say make the icon big, make the icon bigger.
Oh,
You know,
okay, okay, okay.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah. You're supposed to get them kind of vibes there. That's what the
yeah,
roadmap
yeah,
is
yeah,
supposed to do, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
That,
that's
and was a good thing. But hey,
luckily
and
the lyrics were simple.
yeah, it was simple, easy to put together, and you know. But with that being said, still a big accomplishment. And um, the pilot who went out and brought the boat in
Mm-hmm.
from St. Kitts, Lodell Harvey Lloyd, you know what I mean? They got to big him up as well,
Mm-hmm.
who that went out and guided the ship into Port Zante.
Yeah.
You have to big him up.
Gotta get,
That's really a big honor as well.
I would
You
love to
know,
talk to him.
a lot of people have it confused. No, guys, he's not a part of the crew. He's not a part of Royal Caribbean. He works for Scaspa. He was a pilot. He is a local pilot who would have went out and brought the boat in
You could,
alongside the
you could explain it to them, Reese. Explain it to
Yeah,
them,
well,
then explain
so
to you know how we go,
what
right?
really happens is that
I gotta stand up a bit.
every port of call has a pilot, and what that individual really does is that they will know the local waters, they will know where local things are, reefs, rocks, whatever it is, and they
Mm-hmm.
would assist the captains in navigating the local waters into the port. That is really what it is. If you ever been on a cruise, sometimes you see, if you wake up early enough, you'd see this little boat that would come alongside, and you'd see one or two people jump off and stuff. Usually got a little ladder that they'll climb up and they get up into the ship. But that's what they do, and they assist the boats with docking and also when they're leaving the port as well, so that
Yeah,
that little ship will go out and collect the pilot and bring that individual back in.
back in,
But
yeah.
that is an accomplishment nonetheless. A ship of
Wow.
that size to know that this individual would have went out there and assisted that crew bringing that ship in. So big up to him as well, and big up to Saint Kitts for being the first protocol. I don't know how they work it out and whatever they did, and
It's like,
I
yeah, we
don't
up.
care what they did to get it. They get it. I only support winners, and that is a win.
Hold on, Reese.
See, I was a busy man. I was getting cards in the middle of the show, you know. But it's a win. It's historical, and we should be proud of it. Also, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, some people have been asking me about my cup, my Real Entertainment Cup. If you guys would like a Real Entertainment Cup, reach out to us and we'll give you the pricing details and we'll work on getting it out to you. We have cups, we have shirts, we got shot glasses, So come if y'all want, link up and we'll sort it out for y'all.
Yeah, and I feel like we're gonna do some kind of giveaway for something sooner or later. But um my piece on it, I
I
can't imagine how this man felt the night before. I wanna hope he was calm, he was collected, but I find that hard to believe. That's a big moment, knowing that he's gonna be captain of this huge ship. Uh, would have I would have been I would not have slept that night before at all.
why?
Good night. I
Why?
mean, um, that's a huge ship, Reese. That's a
Yeah, well you
huge
prep.
ship.
Yeah, but you have to understand that you prep for the big moments. These are the moments they live for.
Mhm.
These are the things that you're able to talk about 20 years from now.
I u- I used to run track and field, and no matter how much I practice, when I stood up at the starting line, I always felt nervous. And you hear professional basketball players, football players, sports people, and other people say once you come to them, there is nerves. There's always nerves because there is always some sort of uncertainty. Yeah, you might know your capabilities, but there is always things that are out of your control, right? And this is a brand new ship, state of the art. They might have sent him lots of literature, maybe even some sort of simulation. I don't know what he does to get ready for captain in this like brand new state of the art ship, but it's still not like the real thing. Once he get behind the wheels, he had to be impounding for a little bit. If he tell me no,
No,
well,
no, I don't know. He know, get behind the wheels.
no.
No,
Oh,
no, 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 no. All he
okay.
do is like who. Okay, let's say for example, Let me give you just a rough example. Let's say at the end of Port Zante may have like a little reef. He would tell them, okay, you stay to the left until you reach this point, and then we're gonna start making it turn and stuff like that. So he really just guiding them, but he doesn't actually.
Okay.
He's
He
really
don't
not
get
at the
to.
control.
I don't know.
He's
I
not at
think
the
he
control.
does.
No, he's in the captain room. He's up
Yeah.
there with
Okay.
them, but
Okay.
he's
Okay.
only he's like an advisor. So
Okay.
every
Okay. Okay.
protocol we have like a local advisor just to tell you, hey, look out for this, look out for that, and stuff like that.
Oh, I thought he get. I
It's
thought he
not
get to.
necessarily.
Thought he get to run the ship.
No, it's
The
not
shipping.
necessarily captain. No,
Guys,
no, no,
that's
no.
what I was
But
like. Okay, a little ease off then. Just watch out to
yeah,
the stone there. Watch out for that.
yeah,
Mm.
even with that, that is still a big deal.
Yeah.
We're not
Yeah.
going to
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
diminish the work
No.
that
No.
he
No.
does,
No. No.
that he did,
For sure. For
because
sure.
the eye
For
can
sure.
touch it.
For sure. For sure. For sure. For sure. For sure. For sure. Big up to him. Big up. Big up to him. And then
Someone asked, does he also assist with the ship leaving? It may not be him, but there will be a pilot also to assist with the ship leaving. Yes, someone has to guide them out the port until they're in the open ocean, and then yes, the pilot boat will go back and pick up whoever the individual was. It could have been him, or it may not have been him, but someone has to be there with them.
more than likely, right? It's him.
Yeah.
Yeah, more than likely, it's him.
Anyway, send you a text. You see it?
Um,
Um,
and you said text. You mean WhatsApp?
yeah. What's up? Know what I mean? You know.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
But yeah, so
Yeah. Yeah. I see it.
that's what it would have been.
All right
But
then.
it's
Let's get into this thing then. Think it's a do things, right?
think it's other things.
Think it's a do things, boy. Nevis a do things too. Yeah, man. Nevis a do things.
When news are things going on too. What you mean?
What you're saying? What you're saying? But so then what? Should Nevis secede? This is a big question. A lot of people afraid to have this conversation. This is a
Matter of
conversation
fact,
that's been out there.
matter of fact, let's put it out to the audience first. Let me
Yeah.
see. What y'all think? Should Nevis secede or not secede?
We can give them about 30 seconds to put up the answer. Should Nevis secede from St. Kitts and Nevis, or should Nevis remain in St. Kitts and Nevis? Apparently, you're not supposed to talk about these kind of conversations. Why is this thing so small?
I don't understand.
Nobody else say nothing? Everybody afraid?
No. I wanna. It's not really either black cause I like sunglasses, but I have a little situation behind the water like when I in light and so that's all it is.
Yeah, there's a lot of light coming forward
Yeah.
for reason. All right, Reese, it look like we won't get any answer if Nevis should secede from St. Kitts. But Reese, what says you? Should Nevis secede?
Yes. It is time for us to stand on our own 2 feet and show. Hold on. Nevis has a right to secede. The constitution needs to be changed to allow St. Kitts to secede. Yo, that's different too. But I said that Nevis should secede. All right. I said that Nevis should secede. I think it's time we stand on our own 2 feet. I think that we have shown that we may be able to do it. But let's actually do it. Let's go and do it. Let's go and do it.
Constitution needs to be changed for St. Kitts to be. And I know last week I argued for Nevis to have its own airport. Yeah. But I don't think Nevis should secede. I don't think
Well,
Nevis
you
should
don't.
leave St. Kitts and Nevis.
Well, you don't think Nevis should secede?
No, I feel like I'm gonna let you go first.
So
I
I
feel
think
like I'm gonna.
that. Yeah, but I think it's time for Nevis to secede. I think it's time for us to stand on our own 2 feet. I think that for quite some time we've been having all these back and forth, right? We say saying it's this name was this, saying it's this team was this. But if we're gonna keep going back and forth and saying all these things, let's go on our own. You know what I mean? Let's go ahead and actually have our own security forces. Let's go ahead and actually um deal with our own situation and not by ourselves. We got instead of having to deal with saying it's going out and getting grants and getting loans and then we getting the crumbs. No, let's actually go out and do this thing on our own so that we can really stand on our own.
Mm-hmm. 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 And I just don't think we can. I just don't think we can at this moment in time. We
I
can do that.
I think we can if we actually start gearing towards it. I think one of the reasons we say that we can't is because we never thought about preparing for it. We never started going in that direction. So it's always going to look like we can't because we haven't tried. We haven't done anything to go in that direction. Even when we look at, I think whatever 98 when they had the secession vote. But leading into that vote, what did we do to actually go that way? Like, let's say the vote had actually went yes.
Mm.
Like, we didn't do anything to really prepare. There's no preparation that we put in. So what we really need to do is put the preparation in.
Okay, then, and that is a part of my argument, actually. Thank you for strengthening it, my argument as to why Nevis should not secede. Of course, we're human beings. We're allowed to change our mind in some point in time. This discussion that I'm having is right now. Ever should Nevis ever secede? Maybe, but at this point in time, definitely not. Right? Nevis, like you just highlighted, hasn't put any work in to stand on its own. In fact, we have the premier on here, this same platform, saying that at times Nevis civil servants money from budgetary support had to pay the civil servants. And a matter of fact, no other time in history has Nevis been more dependent on Sinkits. Not saying why, because I don't know why, but when you look at budgetary support now, at no other time in the budgets from the past couple of years, we're gonna go back from maybe Van Samry to now. Nevis has been receiving tremendous support from Sinkits, and I don't think Nevis can survive without that right now. Now, here's the thing: the reason why we get that budget support, there is an argument that the CBI program that is in place, that was created by PAM, which is a party in Sinkits, and then revamped by the Labour Party, another party in Sinkits, um, is doing well, extremely well, bringing in high profits. And Nevis is entitled to what
Okay.
was
Oh,
deemed as
okay.
fair share. Hold on, is entitled to fair share. Now the problem is now, Reese, people are signing up to Sinkits, and the world Nevis has not tried done enough to be recognized as a place. Whenever I talk to people, it saddens me when I say I'm from Nevis and it's like, huh? And then I say Sinkits and they're like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, I've been there. Oh yeah, I know this person that's been there. But Nevis still hasn't made its mark on the globe. So for us now to say we're going to jump into a citizen by investment program by ourselves because that seems to be the revenue generator, I think we're going to get squashed by Sinkits, who already has the blueprint in place. Already has the blueprint in place. Already has the connections. Already has the name. So what are we going to depend on? Because we don't have any other driving
All right.
economical
So,
factors. Go ahead.
okay. So here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and we have to look at it because you said like no one knows Nevis, and you may be right. You're right. Right. You want to know the truth?
Mm-hmm.
Also,
Yeah.
the Caribbean, nobody really know about Buda, because Barbuda is the younger, is the smaller brother. You
Yeah.
don't know the name of the Grenadines because they're the smaller, right? The only way
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna have any chance of standing and making any kind of world name, we got to separate.
Yeah.
We got we will never make a world name unless we separate.
Mm, no,
We can always
I don't.
try to be. We will never make a world name unless we separate.
I
Never.
don't. I don't know that I agree. And the reason why
We will never make a world name.
again, when you
Because
go
we're going
back
to
to
always
these,
be
mm,
overshadowed. We are always going to be overshadowed by the bigger brother. We will always be overshadowed. So if you really want to make a world name, we got to separate. The only way we could have anything on the world stage, because every time we go to the world stage, what do we go to the world stage as? Saint Kitts and Nevis.
mm-hmm,
If you go in as Saint Kitts and Nevis, well, who
mm-hmm,
are you know? I mean, and who
mm-hmm,
comes second, man, who come first? We don't remember who come second in a race and who come third, yeah, but we know who come
mm-hmm,
first. Well, Saint Kitts
mm-hmm,
in this race here come first. It's St.
Mm-hmm.
Kitts and Nevis. So
Charlotte
once you go
Point.
to the
Okay.
world stage, you only got to go to the world stage on our own. Well, the only way we
Mm-hmm.
could go on our own is we got to separate.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Gotcha. And I understand that. I understand that argument, but that argument has one flaw, is that the way how Barbuda and I don't even know if Barbuda could secede from Antigua, to be honest, but the way their constitution, and I've said this last week, they don't have an administration. They don't have an administration, right? St. Vincent, they don't have an administration. Nevis has a working government with a premier. Nevis has a cabinet. Nevis has its own parliament. Nevis, while back in 1983, when a constitution was drafted, there was the intent for Nevis to stand on its own in the future. But have we made those strides? No.
Oh,
But
oh,
Nevis was once this sparkling gem of St. Kitts and Nevis. That is when we were, okay, thank you for that, Gigi. That is when we were on top, because we were the island with the only four seasons in the Caribbean. Nevis had its time to do all of that. Nevis was on the St. Kitts, but Nevis was known. That is why more stars, more celebrities came to Nevis. Nevis had its time while it was still St. Kitts and Nevis. So it's not impossible. It is what happened while Nevis had its time. You remember last week you said this? Everybody has their boom. St. Kitts is having its boom right now. Nevis had its boom. What did Nevis do when it had its boom? Did Nevis try to progress in a
okay.
fashion where it could stand on its own? So we can't blame the second name thing in being St. Kitts and Nevis. The reason is actually we, Nevis, hasn't tried hard enough to stand on our own. It wasn't important enough. And right now, it cannot happen.
Hang on. So
Mm-hmm.
here where we're gonna go. If you're gonna vote on secession, right? First
Mm-hmm.
thing for secession, the secession vote requirement need to change. 66.6, I think, is entirely too much, right?
What?
So what would I? Well, yeah, I feel if you win by one, you win, right? If you win, if it's 50.1, it's a win. I don't care about the time,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Okay.
So the 66 point whatever is where it's at. But here you go. You vote for secession. You're not going to vote for secession on Monday and secede on Tuesday. You know, there's a timeline. You have a time to prep and get yourself together,
Mm-hmm.
right? The,
Yeah.
now, prior to the vote or whatever it is, you also there are also things that you need to. I think that when we did it initially, there were no steps started being taken. I think we need to start taking steps, have the vote, and then go through the process. So let's say if the process takes 2 years to go through. All right, we're gonna vote in 2024, and the
Mm-hmm.
process doesn't go through until 2027. We have time to work it through,
Mm-hmm.
right? I think people feel like when you vote for secession, you vote on Monday, you secede on Tuesday. That's not how
Mm-hmm.
secession works. Because as
Okay.
a country, of course, you're going to need stuff to go through,
Mm-hmm.
right? The issues that really and truly, the truth is nobody wants to put in the work. Everybody afraid to do it because everybody just say, "What if?" The other thing about the secession vote, everybody afraid of is who going to be the leader, who going to be the first leader, and that again is another issue. So what I would like to see is both parties come together and actually push this thing forward.
Mm-hmm.
Because instead of us making a decision for us, we make a decision based on party lines. No, let's push this thing forward. Let's go forward, and then we go back to the party line business. Go back to the
Mm-hmm.
party line business after the vote go through,
Mm-hmm.
and let me
Mm-hmm.
work to get this thing done.
Yeah.
Okay, you vote in 2024, and you don't go through to 2027. You got 3 years to build your security force.
Yeah.
You got 3 years. You got 3 years to get your minister of tourism and everything to start going out there and getting work going. You got to start working, but everybody's afraid to make the decision. Everybody's afraid to make the step. Everybody's stuck with the what if. I don't think I don't know if we can. I don't know. So the vote on Monday don't mean you see it on Tuesday. But that is and these are the discussions that aren't being had. We just hear secede, so hey, let me go to this. No, they're not gonna
Okay.
work.
Yeah, there's gonna be a timeline. Like Brexit. They had a timeline. You know, what I mean, you get the chance to put things in place, but we have the chance right now to put things in place, and we're not doing that right now. As an island, Nevis is not doing that right now. Nevis need to
Yes,
do
we're
that
not doing,
at this
but
point.
I you have to
Mhm.
understand. It's not going to take one set of people. The entire island got to come together for this. This is when you're going to require real oneness within the
Yeah,
island. So
yeah,
there is no NRP and no CCM. This
mm,
got to be everybody come together and we make a
yeah,
decision.
yeah, and they're gonna
That
all
is what it's
drawn
going to take.
together too. At this present time, they would all drawn together too. When they come together, they're gonna all drawn
But
together because the reality, even if they decide to unite right now just to make the decision, it won't be enough to carry the country because it will be a country now, right? It won't be enough to carry the country through because the unite like okay. Let's start to look at the affairs in Nevis. The first thing we gotta, for those who didn't join us last week, go back and watch the show last week. We spoke about Nevis's airport. If Nevis should has its own airport, um, Nevis don't even have its own airport. It has something. I don't know if we could class it as an airport. I know not really trying to diss anything, but I don't know if we could really class it as an airport. So our means and ways of getting products internationally, because you got to remember, you're the one that said, right, that Sinkits are already leading. So what are the sense? Who can come to Nevis? Who's gonna do that? Who's going to fly
what
into Nevis Airport?
what
So
what
what's
else did
gonna
I say?
happen?
No, what else
I
did
I
I say?
I I I don't
Don't
I
pick
don't
and
have
choose
to
what
go.
I said now. Don't do
Well,
that now.
if there's something you want to highlight, feel free to highlight
No,
it. I
I know
am
I
not here
tell
to
you that.
highlight your points.
No,
I
I
am
told
here
you
to
that
pick and choose what's gonna benefit my
no,
argument.
the only way the airport could ever be successful and would ever have any form of success, we got to get out of Sinkits. The only way we would have any form of success, we got to get out of Sinkits.
Nevis
We
will
have
not
to.
just thing. Nevis will not just leave and become successful, Reese. That is wishful thinking. That is wishful
I,
thinking.
Ira,
And
Ira,
what
you didn't just
the
graduate from college. You had to go through 4 years, right? You had to prep and put in the work. You had to put in work to get to where you are today. Well, the same
I've
thing, we got to put in work to get where we want to be.
if I've never seen an oversimplifying a matter before, I really believe like that. Like you can't. No,
You
Reese.
see somebody say
Yeah.
you are putting fear in people. You putting fear in people. You making it
Mm-hmm.
seem like as an island we can't know we just a walking failure. The entire
Mm,
island is just a
mm,
failure.
mm. No, 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 no,
Come
no,
on.
no, 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 no. We're not a failure, but
But
we
the
have
comment,
failed.
the
But we have failed to prepare. So you must prepare to fail, right? We do not have a system in place to work on our own, based on the budget, based on the requirements of budgetary support in order for the island economy to stay afloat. That is what I'm talking about, right? That is what I'm talking about. That is all I'm like we are the ones that have failed to prepare. No, if we really want to get serious about the matter, if we really want to get serious about the matter, then we have to start preparing and building the economy for Nevis to stand on its own. Now, here is this is a problem. Here in the United States of America, there is this tradition where when you become 18, the parents kick you out of your homes, right? It puts the child in like under like immense strain because the child hasn't established any financial stability. The child have to now go look a place to stay, have to look a job, have to do all these things rather than be able to live in the comfort of a home, maybe pay a little bill and secure itself before. There are some, when you look at the rich, right? When you look at the affluent group of people around the world, you tend to see people of that category stay in the homes a lot longer, right? But it's not just to stay in the home, it's stay in the home, prepare, build yourself for when you leave the nest, you're secure. That is where I think we have failed. I think we have failed because we have stayed in the nest, but we have not. We have not built ourselves to leave the nest. But hold on, Reese. I know you want to get in with a point, but let me talk to the audience. Got the audience active, and we want
Yeah,
the
the audience
audience.
talking. The audience talking.
The audience active. So we want the audience. We want them to be a part of the conversation because this takes a whole bunch of people to talk about it. So let me just move this down here,
Let me bring one of the comments them to you.
please.
Era, when you speak that way, you're putting fear in the people. If we keep drawing back, there will never be any changes. Shante, thank you. Thank you, thank you. You understand the thing.
Big up
Another
Shante.
thing here from I think is Eastern says to get secession is
Mm-hmm.
2/3 of the people have to vote for it. That's 2 out of 3 people. That's hard, and I agree. 2/3 of the
Mm-hmm.
people is hard. That is why I say that we need to change that, and it need to be
But
winner take all.
Reese, we
I
have to
want winner take all.
understand. We have to understand the magnitude of what is about to take place. It's a constitutional change for one. Around the world, it's not only here, but that is normal. You need just more than the majority. You need a supermajority for something of this magnitude. If you're telling me that we only need to win by one vote to make such a, that means we ain't really ready because the island is not truly convinced that it should go that way. So I think that two-third thing should stay in place because when we
No,
decide, if we
no.
decide one day that we should move away from Secede to Nevis and become Nevis, right? The Nevis. I don't even know if we're gonna be a republic, but if we decide we're gonna do that, we need to be more than sure, more than certain that the population, that the populace, right, wants that.
My
We need
brother,
it.
let me tell you.
Yes,
Let
I.
me, let me,
Uh,
let me ask you a question.
mhm.
If me and you play basketball and me win by one, who's the winner?
That is not the same thing,
Oh,
Reese.
okay.
That is not the same thing. It is not the same thing,
I
Reese.
I go base I go based on winners.
Mm-hmm.
I deal with winners. And if
Okay.
you win 51% of the vote to 49, whoever
Yeah.
win. The super
Reese,
majority thing is the hardest thing to get done.
Reese, virtuous Gemini says, unity is strength. Why separation is always key to success in the minds of so many. And then in quotes, the United States. Duh. That is an example. You see what I'm saying? Of where you have okay, let's look at Africa, for instance. Do you think Africa as a continent would do better if it was a United Nations of Africa? Huh? What about in the case where we have the EU, Europe decided, you know what, we're all countries apart. Let us come together and form this union, right? Because guess what? Let me take it a little, let me drop it down a little bit. Let me put it to our people. Let's look at melanated people versus all the other races. One of the biggest problems we face as a group of people is we're not together. And if we decided to come together, we probably would be much stronger socially, economically. We would be a force to reckon with because we done got the vibes, right? If we came together. If we did such as, don't want to call nobody name because they're like, oh, bro, but you don't know, Small
I
Hat Group,
set yourself up,
Spanish,
yeah.
Spanish group.
That's why I stay quiet. I know the rule for there. You're gonna tangle up
Yeah,
yourself in a minute.
but
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
but but we there's a blueprint out there where you have a lot of groups of people together working together, right? And we see what happens when when you have separation. Look, this saying has been a long and old standing for a reason, right? United we stand, divided we fall. If I could have dropped the mic, I would have do it right now.
Okay. So just to go back to piggyback on what you said. You spoke about
Yeah.
the EU. The EU is something like CARICOM, eh? We're not going to make it seem like the EU is anything of a federation. The EU is CARICOM. So we would still be in CARICOM. that's so. What you just stated there, that is not accurate. You're gonna bamboozle who you want to bamboozle. You're gonna bamboozle me. Okay? The EU, the EU is the EU's CARICOM. If you separate from think it used to be a part of CARICOM, no, my brother, you will not be fooling. All right? Yo, come on, dog. We
Okay.
better than this, right?
Okay.
So that is not what we're looking at. All right? Wow.
Okay.
Damn.
Well,
Damn.
but
I had to
what?
pull that one there quickly. I was like, yo,
Regardless of what?
I was like,
Regardless
yo,
of what? Regardless of
no,
that, Reese. Go ahead.
With that being said, as you speak about melanated people, those say okay, I'm tangling up yourself there too, but you realize you can pull back quickly. But
It's fine.
melanated people, just like everybody else, got their own set of problems. Don't think that other people don't got their own set of problems. All right, everybody have problems within the little groups. All right.
Yeah.
So it's not just melanated people that have problems. The problem is for us because we are melanated. It's highlighted for us because what we look at is the melanated situation. It's not only melanated people have these problems. You're not going to fool me about Muslim with that either. So it's not this group of people don't have problems. Oh yes, they do. Oh yes, they do.
I never
We don't pay
said they
attention.
had problems. I'm saying
We don't
they're
pay
further
attention. We don't pay
ahead.
attention to it.
I'm saying
Well,
they're further ahead. I'm not
yeah,
saying that they
but
have problems. They
yeah,
don't
but
have
them being
problems.
further,
Of course they have problems.
them being further ahead is a different situation. Majority of them want held back 400 years and kept in slavery and captivity for X amount of time. So of course they would have had a head start. That does not mean that, that
Wow.
no, yeah. You're trying to bamboozle people.
It's a
you talk.
factor. That is a
No,
factor, but it's
no.
not the
I
only
understand you.
factor.
No,
It
I
is a
understand you're
factor,
talking.
but it is not the
You,
only factor. You're not gonna you're not gonna use
you
that
ain't gonna
as an
fool me.
excuse. And a
No, you ain't
matter of
gonna
fact,
fool me.
you don't need to stray away from the original
Right?
conversation.
So
That was
no.
my tangent to use as a point. You're arguing against the point that I made.
No. I am
With well, take back
I
to
am
your original.
deconstructing your entire point because people out there gonna be fooled. Yeah,
Okay.
a lot of people would think, wow, the EU for real, boy. No, the EU is CARICOM. What is he talking about? We secede from CARICOM. No, we secede from St. Kitts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It was
All right.
enough. It was enough that Britain wanted to move away, right? And what's going on with them? Hey, John, give that to mommy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's what it is. So with that being said, getting back to where we are.
With that, Reese,
Wait,
with
hold
that,
on.
with that.
Somebody said building a bridge between St. Kitts Nevis withdrawing the secession issue.
I would like to hear
That-
more about that. But Reese,
that's not a bad idea. But
with that,
I am back and I'm telling her that secession is what we need, and we need to start preparing from now. That's all we need. Start preparing from now. Start putting in the work from now. You understand?
Reese, let's pay some bills. Hold on, let's pay some bills and come back. All right, everybody, you gotta go. There's a fun day, Sunday fun day, right here in Queen City, Nevis, Pinnis Beach. Make sure you go. On the 4th of February, Nevis people always complain nothing they do. Well, see the action there. The action right there. You have sounds like DJ Sika, Bobby and Toby, Blade, Tough House Sounds, Jeezy Sparta. And then you have performances by Deli Ranks, Odyssey, and Upset Squad. Free hot dogs for the kids, so you don't even got to feed them. And definitely show up to this one. And also, we have dynamic laboratory for your printing and all of that in Nevis. You see the shirt that I'm wearing right now, that was printed by Dynamic Laboratory. So if you need something printed, they do embroidery, screen printing, everything. Check them out over there in Ramsbury, and I'll post the rest information for them. But back to the conversation. Reese, Nevis can. Okay, hold on. I gotta see what Garrick Hunkins is saying. S can choose to secede from the UK. So I think we made the move. Anguilla stayed, in my view. I also think in the 1980s, Labour was such a dominating force between all three islands that the separation would have been easier than now. Okay. I felt like Nevis had the perfect time to succeed, and it did not do it. Nevis was making strides with 4 seasons. Nevis would have been able to make a lot of connections because you had a lot of like influential people and affluent people coming to our shores because we had the only 4 seasons for a long time. Also, the financial system was very like it was strong. It was well intact,
Era,
right?
dude, hold on, Era.
Some
Because
money
we
was
keep
coming
talking,
in.
we keep talking about the 4 seasons, right? But you realize that even before any other 4 seasons in the Caribbean, news had fall off because it only runs for a time. Everybody got their boom. Everybody got their boom. So our boom, even though we had our boom, like before Angola had their 4 seasons and before the other 4 seasons, we didn't fall off. Right? Places when people gonna move around. So even with even with the 4 season run, funny way you're speaking, we would not have been able to survive because the boom was only about a 5 to 7 year run. We still would not have been able to survive based on what you're telling me because you don't believe our people are resilient
Yeah.
people and strong people and be good enough to date. You know what I mean? You have a lot of fear. I believe in our people.
Okay. Okay. And do you think that Nevis standing on its own would make Nevis more politically stable? I, and this is just my opinion, I think Nevis standing on its own would actually drive Nevis into a state of instability that we've never seen before, right? I
Um,
don't.
Politically stable, eh? I don't feel news will never be politically stable. I don't so standing on its own are standing together, I don't feel news will never be politically stable. Right? And I
Okay.
think as a people we take the politics a little too serious and that's
We take
that's
it
that's what
serious.
that's thing. But that's another conversation for another day. But
Yeah.
if we succeed, if we don't succeed, news will never be politically stable.
But Reese, let me look at Culture Armor 50. You think Culture Armor 50 can be successful without Syncets? It's something as simple as your own festival. Because I telling you, Sugar Mask could succeed without Nevis coming over, you know. But it's something as simple as your festival. We can't even get the festival right. We can't even do the festival on our own. How are we going to
No,
manage?
hold on. I'm going to tell you something now, right?
Okay, there we go.
There are many carnivals that I've attended. I can tell you for a fact that as good as Statola is, Statola Carnival ain't gonna survive without the VIA. Without St. Thomas and St. John, Statola Carnival cannot survive here. And that's a different territory altogether. One is US, one is British, you need a passport to go over.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, Statola Carnival will not survive without St. Thomas and St. John people going over.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing, right? Small island gonna always need some kind of help. We're gonna always need some kind of support. Right? We gonna always need it. All islands need help. St. John Carnival, me you and Marshall in St. John, yeah? St. John
Yeah,
Carnival
yeah.
will not survive without St. Thomas and Statola coming
Yeah,
in here.
yeah, but there's no
Yeah, so
bitterness. But there's
it's
no
not surviving.
bitterness. But there's no bitterness between St. John's and Tato,
Why?
the USVI
Again,
and Tatola.
again. So the bitterness, these are the things that we need to work on. These are the issues that we need to solve. Right? There should be no bitterness. There should be no anger. There should be no envy. There should be no revenge seeking. We don't
Reese is
need
a
that.
divorce. It's a divorce.
We
It's a
hold on,
divorce.
hold on. Oh, hey,
This is going
listen.
to be a divorce.
Hey, hold on.
It's not
They
going
are
to
the,
be a chemical.
oh,
Let me know. I'm a chemical. You got me. I mess up my words then. But
this is
Reese,
why. Listen, it's like when you have children, right? And a family spends up with their children. Sit down
yeah.
and speak to the children. Things ain't gonna be the same, but that don't mean it got to be a war. And this is where again, as humans, we have to be able to reason. That is one of the biggest issues. We want to rah 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 rah. No, sometimes we got to come to the people and say, hey, this is what's going on. This is what we're gonna have to do going forward. And you have to speak to people. Don't make it into a back and forth. You're going by mommy, you're going by daddy. No, that don't make no sense. No, make it simple. We want to keep things simple. Speak to the people. People understand once you talk to people. There are things that people understand, but you just have to speak to people, explain things to people.
It's gonna be messy. First of all, we don't can agree with the CBI. So when you tell me I have to like in a divorce, you have to everybody trying to make sure their side showing everything they have, right? We already complaining. We don't know what's going on with the CBI. We can't see in there. No, we going for the truth. We going for that. You feel like that can just be an easy walk away.
Errol, let me tell you something. Every majority of the aliens in the Caribbean walk away from Europe, right? The fight for independence. So many as far as fighting for complete separation. They're no republics, right?
Reese, Reese,
It
I want
happens.
to let you to know
We have to
most of
make it.
these
We have to make.
head of state,
Hold on.
head of
Matter
state.
of fact. Matter of fact. Look at Trinidad. Trinidad economy was 10 hours, and Trinidad surviving. If they could survive, yo, we could do this.
Head of
Simple.
state,
We knock this out.
head of state.
And these are where we need individuals to go in and say, hey, listen, this is what we're gonna. We have to have these conversations.
Reese, there's people who live on the bridges. There's people who are homeless, unfortunately, that are surviving. Social security. Okay then. Let's go to the comments, Reese, because you have this idea of what survival
Re-
could look very different. Eh?
Roberta Chapman said something. I don't know about it. I really don't know. Maybe you know about it. I don't know about it.
What he said?
Um, he said that Sim Daniel gave up independence for political power. I
I don't
don't
know
know
about
about
that.
that. I
That.
can't speak on that. I really don't know about that. If you would like to elaborate so we can understand, you can. But for me, I don't know about it. So I can't touch that one for real. Shanti
Yeah.
say you read Shanti stuff.
No.
She listened to an interview with the Right Honorable Sim Daniel on the secession matter, and he stated that members in his cabinet was bought out by the PAM leadership and changed their minds. So he didn't have any support. I don't know if that is why Roberta is speaking to, and they may actually go back and run into each other. Um, Someone named Limo messed it up. I don't know anything about that. I can't speak on that one. There. I really don't know Shanti. Yeah, really, yeah, bringing information to me. I really don't know anything about that. I
I
could
want to
ask and let
know
me find out.
what I really want to know. What I really want to know is how they feel about secession. I want to know if they feel like we should secede or we shouldn't secede. If they feel like back in them times there, if Sim Daniel made a mistake, and if they feel like it was for the better.
Hmm.
Um, if you get what I'm saying. A question to you both, Reese and Ira. You both have different views from a Nevis standpoint. Does Sinkits benefit from separation? If okay, Reese, does Sinkits benefit from the separation? Guys, I don't know why Garrett want me tie up my argument that we should stay together. We're gonna talk about separation.
But it's simple. If you say they don't benefit, they don't benefit. If they don't benefit, then you know what I mean. It should stay together. The singers benefit from the separation. Um, After rip sinkers will benefit, right? After rip sinkers benefits and sinkers benefits because once everything goes, the separation goes through, be it 4 or 5 years after the vote, then that budgetary support that they may have to split, that CBI that they may have to split, now with all states and St. Kitts. So St. Kitts benefits that way. Um, I think that is where St. Kitts will benefit. I don't think there's much more than that for St. Kitts to benefit. If you look at the government structure, what we consider to be the federal government is really St. Kitts local government, like we spoke about last week, Ira. So St. Kitts should still maintain their government structure. There shouldn't really be much changes in Nevis, but there shouldn't be much changes in St. Kitts.
Yeah. Garrick, I don't know. You check because I'm
No,
not
say yes
for.
or no. We don't want. I don't know. We want yes
I
and no.
me aim for think it's a Nevis to
Ah,
separate.
yeah, yeah.
I
Answer
am
the
not for
question,
that.
man.
I am not for it. I don't see any
I gave
benefit
my
for
I
Sinkits
gave
to
my
leave
points.
Nevis.
Okay.
There's no
So
benefit.
what are your points? What are your points to support your answer? I just answer for answer's sake, Why you don't see any benefit?
Why are we talking one? What is it? 113 does not include Sinkits. Roberto Chapman says Sinkits need that right. They don't have that right. Um,
Uh,
if Sinkits had that right, they would leave in a whim. If Sinkits had the right to leave, it would be over. We wouldn't even be having the discussion. Sinkits would have been gone right now, left, because yeah, Sinkits has a lot of, like, I there's no real benefit for Sinkits to stay with Nevis right now, other than United going forward as a united front. We might have a little strength, you know, going forward as you have some sort of maybe check and balance in your government. You have a little front where you might
Sean.
have the Sinkits part government, and then you have the Nevis part government.
Oh
So,
wow.
looking at the government, Nevis wanted to go independent. NRP wanted to go independent without Nevis when Labour was in power before 1918. In 1983, the Constitution under PAM was a compromise, giving Nevis a local government, a say in the federal government, and the right to secede. As such, Sim Daniel postponed Nevis independence. And do you think that was a good thing? Is what we want to know. Do you think that was a good thing? How do you feel? I don't know if you had answered that before. Because we're getting ready for the topics. And we're
Yeah,
gonna have to go.
Shanti had actually put up a post that Van Radio actually played the interview with Sim Daniel about 3 weeks ago, speaking
Okay.
about the situation. I don't know. I didn't hear it. I have to go back and try to check it out. But yeah, time for you to get your own man. You know what I mean?
No. And I don't think we're
Yeah,
ready yet.
time for you to get your own.
I don't think we're ready yet. I
So
don't think we're
you
ready
don't
yet.
think that you don't think that we could prepare?
Well,
You don't think
if
that
you
we
talk, well,
because if we vote,
we can do it and then prepare. I thought
so but
prepare the
hold on,
word. I thought
hold on. But if vote ain't gonna be today, So let's say the vote gonna be next year. You start preparing, and then it doesn't go through immediately. That's the problem. People think that once you vote for secession, it go through immediately. It does not go through immediately. It does not go through immediately, and you are fooling people. Secession doesn't mean you separate. You vote today, you separate today. No,
What do you think would be a timeline if they were to have the referendum and it was successful? What do you think would be the
3 years.
timeline?
3 years.
You think it would be a 3-year timeline? And you think
Yeah,
Nevis would be ready in 3 years?
yeah.
Because a lot of that 3 years is going to be fight, because it's a divorce. Who gonna get the
No, three
kids? Who's gonna get the
3 years.
dog? Who's gonna get the house?
I understand everything you're
Right?
trying to tell me. 3
There,
years.
there's a lot to the, like, Nevis wouldn't even have time to prepare because Nevis would have to be fighting for survival, fighting for what Nevis would feel like belongs to her. Nevis would have to be fighting for proceeds from certain tax. And you know what? Sinkis can hit back. Sinkis is going to hit back because
Marlene,
Sinkis is going to say, yo, we tax money where you've been supposed to put in the kitty, where you don't want to put in the kitty. We want
no,
that.
you still put. Yes, sir. You still put in everything in there, and then the other thing too, when you go through something like this, there's a lot of liars going. There's a lot of things going through. So you get your legal team and your legal team go through it.
Okay.
You have these things. These are things that you're gonna have in place. Your legal
Okay.
team got to work.
Okay.
You can't just go in a divorce without a liar. You're gonna lose.
The liar got to be ready.
You need a team, and your team got to work. So with that being said, there has to be something that you have to put in place.
Mm-hmm.
And once the vote goes through, and we understand that this is the vote of the people, then you can't go against what the people want.
Shante Brooks wants he's such a bad boy.
With the right persons in place, I think 3 years will be.
Shante wants he's such a bad.
Me and Shante pretty same thing. Yeah.
I see you. Well,
And then we depend. Stand on our own.
Well, here at Ren we don't stand on our own. But if you stick and stay, you will join the topics up next with Alan Powell and China Wallen. You don't know
Hey,
how they do it.
hold on, before we go, Marlene says that this topic needs further installments of discussions, and I actually do agree. I think this is a topic that we need to continue speaking
Mm-hmm.
about. And a few
Mm-hmm.
topics we need to speak about really and truly that
Oh,
we need to keep running because these are things that people need to speak about.
okay.
Big up to everybody that's here with us. But the topic's up next.
Yeah.
Powell, Wallen, them boy gonna hold it down at that end.
Yeah, there we go. I will definitely
Yeah,
see
man.
if we could expand the panel. Maybe I could get somebody on my side and Reese could get somebody on his. You
No,
know.
we got somebody for session already, yeah.
I think it's easy to find that person. You know what I mean?
You
To be honest.
mean?
I gonna have to see if the
What you
premier
mean?
gonna be on my side because apparently he no wants the session because he just and sink its breast. So
Me not
we
help
out.
you. Blessed.
We on the corner, man. We on the corner, man. We on the corner, man. With that real talk. We on the corner, man. With that real talk, real talk, real talk, real talk.
Lotus blossom, don't cry. Without any sun. Lotus blossom, don't cry. Without any sun. Lotus blossom, don't cry. Without any sun. Lotus blossom, don't cry.
Real talk.